I'm glad you clicked on this video, because you will never fail your diet again after watching this. And do you know why? Because I don't want to tell you about the most scientifically optimized dieting protocols, because that will not help you stick with your diet anyway. I want to share with you my honest experience and my tricks that I use in my daily life. And I can guarantee you that these strategies actually work, because I have been trying my absolute best for the last 10 plus years to come up with solutions to the dieting problems I had troubles with every single day. So here is my decade plus of dieting tricks summed up in one video. And once you finish this video, you will be able to get such a big head start that everyone else had to spend multiple years working for. But you came here today. And as a reward, you will be getting all of that info right now. There are three main things that always end up making you fail your diet. It's laziness, lack of preparation, and those super powerful cravings. But this goes much deeper than it might look on the surface. So let's dive in. Have you ever noticed how some things in life are super easy and frictionless? Like social media, for example. You can go from having a phone in your pocket to doom scrolling in literally 2 seconds. And the most insane thing about it is that you didn't even need to think for a single second. It all happened automatically because there is quite literally zero friction within the whole process. And it of course isn't a coincidence, it is that way very much on purpose. Because if you had to solve a mathematical equation and then do a CAPTCHA every time you wanted to doom scroll, you wouldn't be doing it so frequently. Or maybe you wouldn't be doing it at all, because there are way too many roadblocks in the way that require deeper thought, thus creating a lot of friction. But why did I tell you all of this? Aren't we supposed to be talking about diet? And yes, of course, but you best believe I have a very good reason for showing you what I just did. At the start of the video, I told you that one of the reasons why your diet always ends up failing is laziness. But it isn't just the fact that you in particular are lazy. Everyone is lazy to a certain extent, even me. We are all human, and sometimes you just don't feel like cooking a meal, because you just might be tired or have a lot of work to do, and going through all the steps to make a meal just feels like climbing Mount Everest. Which, if you think about it, it kinda resembles the social media example I showed you before, right? You are not failing your diet because you are a super lazy individual. You are failing your diet because there is just too much friction in the whole process. If your diet was as simple as whipping out your phone and doom scrolling within 2 seconds without a single thought, you would be unstoppable. Which also solves the second problem I mentioned at the start, lack of preparation. If every single time you prepare your meal you have to go through the most tedious gauntlet ever, of course that will make you fail. You need to simplify the meal preparation process as much as possible, so that when it comes time to eat the meal, you have as little friction as possible. And while some people take the preparation to the extremes and just fill their entire fridge with boxes of food for multiple days in advance, you really don't have to do it like that. Dedicating an entire day to meal prep and then having everything in boxes can be very helpful when it comes to getting rid of all the friction. But some people just don't want to eat food that has been sitting in the fridge for a couple of days. So you really don't have to go crazy if you don't want to, because just a couple of small adjustments can go a very long way. First of all, try to have meals in your diet that are relatively easy to prepare, or that have elements that you can prepare beforehand, so that you can then just combine a couple of things together and eat. For example, if we take the good old chicken and rice as an example, there is a ton of things that can make this almost effortless. For the rice, you just use a rice cooker. And when it comes time to eat, you literally just put it on your plate. Basically no friction. And when it comes to the chicken breast, you just make sure that you already have it marinating in the fridge beforehand. So that when it comes time to eat, you can just take what you already have and put it in the oven or a pan right away. Or if you want, you can just cook a bunch of chicken breasts in a batch and have it instantly ready to go with your effortless rice from the rice cooker. These adjustments might seem super small, but removing even the slightest amount of friction goes an insanely long way. I can tell you what happened to me recently. I was like, I should eat a banana right now, but when I tried to get it, it was still buried in the shopping bag. And my mind instantly went, nah, I'm good. And I just didn't eat it, because I had some other stuff going on, and I couldn't dedicate 10 seconds to fishing it out and peeling it, because there was just way too much friction for my stupid brain and I was in a rush. And I know how insane this sounds, but this is real life. This is just what happens sometimes, which is kind of sad, but it just shows how even the slightest amount of friction can throw you off. Which you probably won't hear from any fitness influencers, but your good old friend from MS Paint is going to tell you how it really is, because I know that a lot of you will probably be able to relate to this. Maybe not to such an insane extent as me, but if you think about those moments when your diet failed, it most likely was due to just too much friction. Imagine that I had a banana already peeled and chopped, put in a plastic box in the fridge. I would just grab it and instantly eat it, in the same frictionless way you would whip out a phone and start scrolling right away. You just need to think ahead a little bit and prepare. But there is still the last thing we didn't solve just yet, and that is those brutal cravings that just hit you and you are left defenseless. You might think that there is nothing that you can do to prevent this, except just staying strong. But this is actually super easy to solve, because under the hood, those cravings are really just the lack of preparation and laziness combined into one. Because your body doesn't necessarily want to eat a bag of chips or whatever. You are just hungry, and if you have something prepared that is instantly ready to go, you can easily defend against all your cravings. But this once again requires you to prepare beforehand and have no friction in the whole process. Because once those cravings hit and you don't have an instant frictionless solution, you will fail sooner or later. I can guarantee you that. So what should you do exactly? Well, I do have two solutions in particular. Both of them require you to prepare something beforehand that you can snack on without regrets. If you know that you often get that sweet tooth, you should have something like Greek yogurt with some fruit and zero sugar syrup ready to go. But once again, it should not be Greek yogurt in one container while the fruit is still frozen in the freezer and the bottle of syrup is still sealed. It all needs to be already put together, ready to be instantly consumed with zero friction. Otherwise, when those cravings hit, you will not go through the trouble of putting everything together. You will just grab a bag of chips from the hidden stash instead, because it is significantly easier to do. But if the healthy option is always the easiest option, the cravings can never defeat you. On the other hand, if you are more like me and you often crave something more salty, or you are just purely after eating a lot of voluminous food because you are just constantly hungry, then listen up as I will show you my personal solution. Every morning I make a big bowl of salad, and when I say big, I really mean big. And because I don't put any oil or any high calorie dressing into it, I can eat virtually an endless amount of food without destroying anything, because the calorie amount of all the veggies I put in is so low that I don't even count it. And while salad doesn't really seem like something appealing, you have to think about it a little bit more. If you don't like eating raw kale or spinach, then don't make a salad out of that. If I made a salad from that, I also wouldn't wanna eat it. Use the veggies you actually like. My personal favorite combo is tomatoes and cucumbers. Once you get your favorite veggies, you just put in some salt and pepper or whatever spices you want, and you can just go to town without any regrets. But the key here is that you actually have to like what you make. If you don't want to eat it while you are not hungry, you will certainly not want to eat it when those cravings hit. And while a lot of people these days basically don't eat any veggies at all, trust me, there is a lot of good ones that are really tasty. You just have to be willing to look for them. And not just make a salad out of leaf greens you absolutely despise and then complain that it sucks. And that is how you can make your diet completely unfailable. This certainly helped me out, and I hope that once you apply these things to your own diet, you will see how life-changing it really is. And if you like the way I think about diet and training, where the main goal is simplicity and actually being able to stick to your routine, then you should check out my new beginner bundle. It's a complete package of training, nutrition, and a cardio plan, where it will take your hand and make sure that you will succeed. Because believe it or not, there is a way to make everything basically fail-proof. And I honestly believe that I managed to crack the code after so many years of trying to figure it out. So if you want to learn more about it, click the first link in the description. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more content that truly makes a difference. I really appreciate it. Good luck, and I will see you in the next one. If you like this video, then you will surely enjoy this one too.